everybody, and welcome to Roll Together RPG, and to our next episode of the Chronicles of Aeodrun Awakening campaign. My name is Josh. I use he, him pronouns, and I shall be your game master tonight. And as you can see, I am surrounded by some amazing people who will be playing in tonight's game, and we're going to go through and get introduced to those people now. If you could please introduce yourself, your pronouns, and your character's name, your character's pronouns, and what they got up to. You can say what they got up to in the last session or how they feel about what happened in the last session that they were in. Starting with, and I'm going to go in the order of my Zoom because I have it awkwardly laid out, Mike.
Hello, I'm Michael, and I'm playing Lucian Graves. We both use he, him pronouns. Lucian's feeling like a level of sort of semi-frustration, I think. Like between what's going on in the general fighting of creatures that are all connected to the Reavers, which he's actively trying to get everybody to avoid for now. And then kind of like the B plot of what he's trying to do in the background is going well, but instead of getting answers each time, it's just like another step. And I think he's finding that frustrating as well, because he's got no big hitting pieces of information. Everything's just like, oh, I found out this, but it kind of leads on to this. Oh, I found this, but it kind of leads on. So that is an interesting one, because he wants to start collecting more. But we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Next, going down my list, is Evie.
Wasn't surprised this time. Hi, I'm Evie. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Peribateo, who uses she, they pronouns. And Peri is feeling emotionally and physically exhausted and a little bit scared of themselves and kind of things that have sprung out of their back while they've been in a state of mania and rage. So, a bit confused, very tired, a little scared.
And I was trying to think of something smart to say to that, and so we'll move on to Talia next.
Ooh, hello, yes, Talia playing Hera, Oath of Redemption Paladin. Both of us are she, her. Hera is feeling stressed, upset, and a little bit hunted at the moment of things which she was trying to get away from and keep appearing near where she thought was safe. And she's gonna have to start doing something about something. She's not sure what the something is yet, but she's gonna do something soon. Because this is not the haven she thought it was gonna be.
There is definitely something about something going on at the minute. Moving on to the final person in the group, he is Nad.
Something about something is just so clear as mud. Love that.
So
Hi. Hi, I'm Nat. I use she, her pronouns. So is my character, Elodie Fogg. She is a mutant blood hunter. And she was not in the last episode. So apparently canonically spent it just standing, just idling, mixing stuff at her alchemy lab in the kitchen. But in terms of emotions, I think based on where she was last time she appeared, there's quite a lot going on. There's some scary people that are being bullies, and she's not a fan of that. And there's lots that is being discovered, but I think she's kind of embracing that. I think there's a puzzle to be figured out, and there is research to do, and she is happy doing that. And these people that she seems to have been thrown into the mix of seem to not care about all the stuff that she was told historically to never tell people. So that is a good thing. So I think she's actually in quite a good place, and any of the bad stuff and the worries, we'll deal with them at some point. It'll be fine. Yeah, squash them down. They're not important.
Repress those feelings.
Yeah, that's how you deal healthily with everything.
Nothing can go wrong from doing that. Before we get into tonight's session, we have some sponsors and supporters to thank. Our sponsor is Phoenix Dice, and our supporters are Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, Bearded Ladies, and Michael Dobson character art. You can find the links to all of those in the chat or in the description below if you are watching us on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, if you are watching us here, please do leave us a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. All of it helps with the algorithm so that we can see what you like, so we can make more of it. Massive thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. They are amazing. They are the best. Without their help, we wouldn't be able to make all of this lovely content that we make for you. I don't know why my fingers are dancing, but they're just doing it anyway. You can join them from as little as one of your local currency per month by following links in chat or in the description below. There are safety warnings for all of the episodes that we have. If you put !safety in chat, it will take you to a Google Drive folder. You can see the TTRPG safety toolkit that we use, and also the content warnings for not just this campaign, but any other ongoing campaigns that we currently have as well. And all of them will be down in the YouTube descriptions as well for everybody. So go check those out. If there's anything that you're not keen on, please do come to and then come back for another one, because they're not always going to be the same. Anyway, with that said and done, we're going to roll a little title sequence, and then we will jump into tonight's session of Chronicles of Aeodrun. Awakening! Ah! In the last episode of our Awakening campaign, a group of players came together. Elodie became an untouchable NPC that nobody could interact with and was off in the kitchen area mixing supplies consistently. Yeah, pretty much exactly that. In fact, I might take that segment and just have that in the camera feed from now on. For the episode, for that entire episode, because this episode is recording before that episode goes live, so I might just do that. Because I'm mean. Anyway, the remaining players came together, had a bit of a discussion about Solomon, about the Reavers, and various other things, and decided to take a quest to go and hunt down a figure known as the Red Shadow. There was a little bit of apprehension that the Red Shadow might be something to do with the Reavers, so everybody left with caution. Tracking down the Red Shadow about 5 to 10 miles out of the town, past the Redstone farm where party members had been previously to help the Griffin and the Griffin cubs, we bumped into a group of ratlings. Ratlings are basically goblin rat people. They're not people because they're not intelligent in that sort of sense. They're not sentient in that sense is the word. They attacked the party. And during the conflict, there was a red shadow or red blur that started moving around the field and attacking everybody. After some very angry rolls, some rage, some wings, some slowing down of the creature to reveal that it looked like an undead infused with some sort of magic, with bone appendages sticking out of its arms. Think Baraka from Mortal Kombat, but Slender Man style. The party were able to defeat this creature. Hira recognized that this creature looked very similar to a set of experiments that she had witnessed before. Slightly different to how they were when she first saw them, but looking similar, leading to potentially repercussions. The figure as well, the Red Shadow, also had remnants of Reaver armor on it. Yes, I did say that, yeah. It had remnants of Reaver armor on it. So was it a Reaver? Was it just dressed up as a Reaver? We don't know, but samples were taken. Samples were taken for Elodie as well as as evidence of what was killed, and the group made their way back to the tavern. we ended the session off with Bram feeling very put out of place, feeling that there's not much here for him at the moment, and wondering about what happened with his parents and whether they were sacrificed for whatever is happening here. Decided to go into the basement of mercenary company and look at the old records after being told where they were by Tally. And his section ended off with him in the vaults below. Kimdak, leader of the Reavers, also summoned Solomon to go and have a conversation in his old manor in the graveyard. Solomon took Lilla with him, and their scene ended with them going into the graveyard and loads of Reavers coming out from behind the graves. Sunny also had an interesting episode. Sunny decided to sneak into Perry's room and painted what could only be considered a Mozart masterpiece on the wall.
Mozart,
yes, Mozart.
Sure.
That's what we're going with now.
Okay.
I respect you've committed to that.
Is a very, very famous painter in the history.
Yeah, Mozart is a famous painter in this world now.
In this world, right? Yeah.
Spelt with any weird combinations of letters you want put into it.
Now that we've established that, if we ever find a painting that looks particularly good, I will flip it to see who has painted it.
Gets all of the other all of the wrong names for people. Beethoven.
Tchaikovsky.
I mean, music is a form of art, isn't it? It might not be painting, but, it could be Mozart level artwork in music form. I don't know. I'm stupid. Anyway, yes. But the painting itself had some very telling things on it. Not only did it show images of Perry, it also showed dark figures in the darkness watching Perry and watching over the mercenary company building. Has Sunny seen something and is trying to communicate that to everybody else? We don't know. Let's find out as we jump into tonight's session. And while everybody is out and about dealing with the red shadow, the colours on Elodie sort of change, and she becomes tangible and able to act like you do. Has anybody ever watched those cartoons where they have like the background and you can see something like the red book looks like a different colour, so you know that's something that can be picked up? Has anybody ever noticed that? And yeah, this is what happens with Elodie now. It's a bit that I'm going with.
I suddenly feel tangible again.
The fourth wall breaking is hurting my brain.
I'm sorry. I will stop with the fourth wall breaking. Elodie, well, everybody else has gone. It is just yourself, Tally, and Rodney and Sunny left in the mercenary company. So you are currently in the kitchen doing some mixing and matching and all of that sort of stuff. Is there anything else that you would like to do while you're in there? Okay,
so on Elodie's research list for the day is having a look at the dust left over from all of the burnt up purple flamey things that we have slayed so far. Having a look at the infected pond water that the bears were drinking from, the corrupted Big Daddy Bear. And then she has not had conversations with the rest of the party about how Bram feels about Solomon. So I feel like she would try and go and speak to Solomon before he headed out, because she's got other stuff she wants to research as well, but doesn't know where the books are.
Awesome. Yeah, we can definitely say that you went and spoke to Solomon before he left and before the rest of the party left. For some reason, the rest of the party seemed to be uninteractable for some reason. They seem to be having their own conversation and you're walking around.
Did Solomon leave at the same time that they did?
He left just before they did, but
right.
You are able to, but you can go speak to him in his office before you go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, in that case, we'll go and sort of very politely sort of knock.
Oh yes, please come in.
Oh, hello, Mr. Solomon.
Oh, hello, Elodie.
Hello. Are you busy? I didn't want to disturb you, but I had a couple of things I wanted to run by you.
I'm just getting ready to head out, but I've got time. I can certainly.
Oh, okay. In that case, maybe I'll be quick, and some things can wait. I'm sorry. I realised I never properly thanked you. I obviously Lila brought me here and has been very kind, and everyone's been super hospitable, but I understand you're the one running the place and we've not really spoken. So I appreciate you taking me on.
Oh, it's more. Lila holds you in high regard. Sent me a glowing review before you came into the town. There are areas.
What exactly did she say?
I've got the report here if you'd like me to read it.
It would be useful to know.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Please sit down. And there's a sofa that you can sit on, and he'll sit behind his desk, and he's got a big stack of paperwork, and he goes to probably the third or fourth one from the top, and he pulls that out, and you can see that it says LED written on it, and he opens it out. And right, so the report coming from Lila, she does things similar to how the job board is done. So she sort of marked you out of stars. It's an interesting way of doing it. It's actually quite effective. Your overall star percentage, is 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Your intelligence.
Based on what?
You're marked down because of your combat experience. Although she has commented that she feels with training and experience that you will become an excellent combatant, whether that be frontline or more supportive from the back sort of thing is the notes that she's put here. Your intelligence is second to none. Your creativity and being able to think on the spot and degrees of research and everything are something that she admired as well.
Okay. Sorry, I've never got top grades. I've never not got top grades before, so that's Anyway, not important. She clearly has not seen me out on the missions, fighting. That's fine. Anyway, okay. But she didn't say anything else about anything else.
It's not written anything down here, no.
Okay. No worries.
Was there anything you wanted to share with me?
Not right now. But I did wonder, given your resources, do you have access to a library of sorts, or somewhere where I can conduct research that's not alchemical? I'm looking for books on, I suppose, symbology?
Okay, certainly. I mean, he gestures to the wall next to him, and I should have said this when you walked into the room. There are a vast amount of books on the wall, not quite library level, but there are quite a lot of them. I have a vast collection of some rare books, some not so rare books there that might be of interest to you. I also do have some connections with the Grand Library in Abercathis, so I could request anything in particular you might be researching. It'll take a little while to get here, of course, but
Of course.
I've got those
that's probably fine.
connections.
Maybe I'll start with the ones that you have here.
Yes, symbology, did you say?
Yes.
Oh, okay, well, bear with me 1 second. And he gets up and he walks over to his bookshelf, and he pulls out a little...
And maybe a history of the Tarragon Empire?
Okay, that's fine. And he pulls one of the... He's got one of those stair things that are on wheels, but it's about 4 foot shorter than what we would expect them to be. So he walks up on it, pulls one book down, looks at it, get that one, and then pulls another one down. Yep. And then he gets his walking stick and puts it up against the door, the edge of the book frame, and he pushes himself along, and he just goes, whee, to the other end. For some reason, he didn't need to do that, because he then gets off the steps and goes right down for a really low book and pulls that out, and then walks over to you.
Sometimes it's just fun.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to him, like, if you have a library with a little slidey ladder that you can climb and slide around on, even if you don't need to, you do it anyway because it's a lot of fun, right? You have to do it. Elodie is already, like, for later, being like, I gotta have a go on that ladder.
It does look like fun. Maybe there have been instances where they've used it and done like bowling, like you see in some of the American sitcoms with it. Maybe
Bowling.
I don't know. Bowling, yes. Have you seen like Scrubs where they put everybody in the wheelchairs and they roll them down the thing and then shoot them into a load of like toilet rolls and all that sort of stuff?
I appreciate that, Josh, but the ladder is on rails.
I said wheels.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Ooh.
Little wheelie step ladder.
Yeah,
I'm with
little weedy stepladder. He does present you with 3 books. One of them is a basic history of the Tarragon Imperium. Then the other 2 are different, both in different languages. One is of human known symbology and dwarven known symbology, because he's dwarf, so he would have that. I've got these books. If you want more on symbology based themes, I do have one book that I am currently reading, which is at my desk, so I could give you that one, but I would need that one back pretty soon because I'm still doing some active research on it.
Oh, certainly. Well, I can. If you're heading out, then I can read it now, and then you can have it back when you come back.
Okay, yes. And he walks over to his desk. Now, you need to be very careful with this one because this one is very, very old. And he hands it to you, and it is the Josh is trying to think of a clever name off the top of his head, but basically, it's about good and evil symbologies and how magics are used in rituals and all of that sort of stuff. And it's to do with heavens and hells and all of that. Heavens and
Perfect.
underworld.
This looks perfect. Thank you so much. I will look after them. I promise.
As I said, that one book, if you could just bring that one back to me when I get back later, once I've been out, then that's fine, because I'm still doing some active research on that.
Absolutely. These are absolutely my priority. Afterwards, do you have books on herbology as well?
I do, yes. I have some basic ones. There were some.
I'll save it for later. I'll focus on these first, but
okay.
Maybe I'll draw up a list.
Yep, I was going to say our local herbologist Greta has a lot of those books at the moment. So when she comes back, you might want to ask her for them. She's quite up on that, as it were. I think that's what Lila says. I think that's the kids' term these days. I don't know.
Sure.
Oh. Cookie?
Ooh, what flavour?
This is jelly bean flavour.
There's a lot of those going around at the moment.
Yeah, it's a batch left over from Tally and Rodney making some with Sunny, so.
Well, thank you. Have a lovely day.
You as well. Yeah. Josh, brain went blank. Forgot what he was going to say.
No, this is it. They both awkwardly stand
It's
there
still
in silence for 10 seconds, and then Elodie runs away.
Can anyone in this group finish a conversation?
No.
Actually, I think it might be Lucian, and Lucian's the only person who can start and finish conversations with any meaning.
So, the next thing that you said you wanted to do was to do a bit of research into... Are you looking to use the books to do research into the powder and water that you have, or are you looking to do some alchemical stuff with that?
It'd be alchemical stuff with that, but if there's anything... I mean, I've not really gone with anything that I think... In terms of the books I've borrowed, I don't think they're specifically relevant to the alchemical stuff, but if you think that they might have something in them, then yeah. I think probably the order that she would do the research, because Solomon wants that book back, she would read the symbology book first, the fancy one first, and then probably the other one as well, and then get cracking on the alchemical stuff, and then would go to the history of the Tarragon Empire.
Awesome. So I would say that you won't be able to get through all of that tonight in the one night.
I think you underestimate how good she is at studying, Josh. People are out for a very long time.
They're gone for a while. But I would say with the alchemical, because reading is reading, there's no point in me making you roll a skill check for what you learn from the reading, because you could just reread it. But I would like for you to make me a herbal check. Herbalism check. There we go. I would say that if you have herbalism kit, that you can roll it with proficiency.
Interesting. No, I'm proficient in alchemist supplies, not herbalism.
Okey-dokey. Oh, no, because you're doing it alchemy-wise, aren't you? Sorry, my brain's going to another place. So yes, alchemy supplies with proficiency.
Amazing.
And intelligence.
So I'm essentially just rolling an Arcana roll then, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And now, interesting, because the stuff I'm testing is to do with the purple flames and is technically our quarry. Does my blood hunter stuff kick in at this point? It is. I'm trying to get, because I get advantage on certain things when I'm hunting them. Apologies. Scanning. Okay, this is to recall advantage on checks to track Fey Fiends or Undead, advantage on intelligence ability checks to recall information about them. So possibly not.
I would say if you'd done maybe once the others have come back with the information on the red shadow, I'd let you roll it with advantage for the undead element, but for the minute,
just straight Arcana.
Just a straight roll, yeah.
Hoopa! That's a nat 1.
At the moment, you can't get anything from it. Not so much because there's nothing there. It's more that it's taking a little while for these chemicals to actually do anything within the vials that you're putting them in. So if you're like trying to boil down the dust and trying to like separate it and all of that sort of stuff, or you feel like trying to get samples to put under a magnifying glass and all that, it's just taking longer to extract that stuff than what it would if you were to do it with something that might not be as magical with it at the minute. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to actually get that prepared, which would work perfectly with when the others return with the undead specimens, because then you could roll with advantage.
Sure.
That's perfect. Was there anything else that you wanted to do before the others got back?
Reading that symbology book.
So, reading the symbology book, I won't go through it page for page because the book technically doesn't exist, but...
Josh, you know what I'm looking for though, right?
I know what you're looking for. And you don't find that symbol per se, but you do find, and you are intelligent enough, that you find 3 symbols that if you were to, and you draw them out in a little book and everything and put them on top of each other with a light, all 3 symbols make one symbol.
Ooh, fun.
Yes. So there are 3 different symbology symbols that make this one symbol that is currently on your hand.
Okay. How are they split?
So the 7-pointed star itself is actually... and Josh is trying to think in his head how it would work. So it is like... one bit is a triangle that is upside down triangle.
Yeah.
The other bit is the rest of the star that makes it 7-pointed. And then the last part is a circle with 7 splits in it that has all of the different elemental colors in it for each of the different, not elemental, all of the different magical elements in that. And if you were to lay all 3 on top of each other, they all perfectly match up.
And do I get any information about like the usage of these symbols, like what groups use them?
So, because this is in the Heaven and Underworld book, there is a lot of talk about resurrection. There's a lot of talk about control of the undead, resurrection, control of undead, opening and closing sealed gateways to other places, and I think that would be it. That would be it from the 3 symbols. There is a mention in this book, and it is like one of those very small paragraphs right at the bottom that seems to have faded off with age, and it says something like the ultimate power can be unlocked by unsealing the fallen, and then G, and then that's it.
Just the letter G.
Just the letter G, and then the rest of the word is faded. The rest of the sentence is faded because this book is old.
The what place? The inaccessible places. No, what was that? What did you just say?
Oh God, what did Josh just say? The ultimate power can be obtained by
Ultimate power.
releasing the fallen G. J?
Okay.
Talia is muted, but I don't know if Talia.
Oh, I am mouthing words to me. It's gone from guardian, god, giraffe.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
the fallen
yeah.
giraffe. Definitely.
Oh no, he's fallen. How does he get back up with such a long neck?
I've fallen and I can't get up. It's okay, Granny Giraffe. Here we go.
I think she's logged the terms like the ultimate power and is like, the fuck is that? What is that supposed to be? What is that supposed to entail? Okay, cool. Yeah, and that she'll make all of her notes and be talking all of this through with the menagerie as she's doing the research.
Yeah, all of them don't seem to have any other input to put in other than giving you positive feedback on the research that you're doing.
Mhm.
So it's like none of them have got the foggiest, get it, of what's going on.
Uh-huh.
And I think with that particular book, it takes you the rest of the day/night to read it because there's so much to it that you have to keep constantly flicking backwards and forwards so that you don't miss the information about what it is you're researching. And while you're in the kitchen and the water and dust is still doing its thing because it's taking a while, the door opens to the main mercenary company and the rest of the party walk in. Bram instantly goes, speaks to Talion and disappears downstairs. So this would be just before, as the rest of you will have all arrived back, just before you all went to bed at the end of the last session. We'll sort of cut this bit in here so we can bring Elodie back in.
Yeah, I'm a sexy backpack at the moment.
Ah. You coming? Oh, well, yeah. I suppose you're not in the kitchen, so she would have heard, and would have closed the book and sort of come in. Oh gosh, what happened?
It's fine. She's just exhausted. I'm going to take them to bed in a second.
Oh, okay. Not hurt.
No, just
I want to go to bed.
our thing.
Okay.
You okay, Elodie?
Yes. Yeah, I'm fine. Did you see Solomon while you were out there? Is he
No.
back? I didn't hear him come in.
Then he must not be back yet. We know he went off to go and be summoned and deal with the Reavers.
Oh. What? I thought he was just going about his chores for the day.
No, whatever got. I think what happened with the bears kind of set something off, and so he got summoned. But there's things happening.
Oh, I hope he's okay.
He'll be fine. Are you okay? You're looking.
Brain frazzled. I've been reading a lot today.
Okay.
There's cheesecake left over in Rodney's store cupboard if anyone would like any.
Too much dairy.
Get a little yeah from Perry just on your
Okay, I'll be back once Perry's asleep. Come on. I'm gonna leave, so.
Yeah, you go upstairs and you put Perry's bed as you did in the last episode, which leaves Lucian and Elodie together.
Lucian's just sort of like blankly looking at you like, yeah. Any other questions? Or
No? If you're all safe and fine, then no.
all right, good night. And he just like,
Okay, good night. Don't be rude. Honestly. I'm sure he's fine.
As you go to turn around, Elodie, you can see that Rodney is stood in the doorway of the kitchen. I don't mean to be I don't want to come across as being funny or anything, Miss Elodie, but it is quite late now, and I'm a bit
No,
I'm
you're
a bit
right.
worried that you might end up staying up all night. I can keep an eye on whatever that thing is if you'd like to, if you want to leave it.
I think I would rather. Maybe I'll just bring my blanket down and sleep in here just to keep an eye on it.
Are
It's
you
okay.
sure?
I've done it before exams.
Okay. Well, I mean, what, you're going to sleep on the hard floor?
I'll be fine.
No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm sorry, Miss Elodie, but I'm not having that. And he walks past you and walks
Rodney,
into a
no.
cupboard.
You don't need to, Rodney. It's fine. It wouldn't
Oh.
be the first time.
Pulls out a mattress.
Oh, what do you have that in there for?
Well, just in case. Well, just in case any beds upstairs need mattresses need changing. This is one of our spare ones.
Oh, it's fancy enough that you have spare mattresses. How often do mattresses need? Don't answer that question.
It depends on how drunk people get. And he walks off. And he puts it in the kitchen area. You can hear there is the sound of things being moved. And if you were to look in the kitchen, he's pretty much the entire island isn't sort of set in place, but he pretty much grabs it from one end and pushes all of it at once, and it all slides across a little bit. And he puts the mattress down. All right. It's quite a new mattress, so it should be quite comfortable. But I wouldn't sleep too close to that in case it spits fire on it. But
Yes, no, absolutely not.
I will warn you now that I will be back very early in the morning. So I apologise if I wake you up. I might have forgotten that I might forget that you're on the floor.
You know me. I'm an early bird.
Yeah, and that was Josh laughing, not Rodney. He's all right. I will see you in the morning, Miss Elodie. Cheesecake. Sunny actually came to me and asked for me to put something in Perry's cheesecake, so I'm going to come in a little bit extra early for that.
Something naughty?
No, something nice. It's
okay.
actually a really good idea. So I need to go get some first.
Am
So
I complicit in some kind of scam now?
It's not anything that's like horrible towards Perry or anything. I think it's Sunny's way of like trying to be nice.
Okay. I will. She mimes like zipping her mouth shut. I didn't see anything.
Good. And he walks out the back door, shuts it, and you are left with the lights all turned off and everything, and everybody is able to go to sleep. And for those who need to, can click the long rest button.
Yay!
Finally.
Yay.
For your reference, Nat, it's still the same day as the one where you were previously here.
Wait, what?
Yep. Same day.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay. I thought I had a whole day while people were out. No? This
Nope.
makes more sense now.
Yeah. Yes, Hera and who was in that mission? It was Hera. Perry wasn't in that. It wasn't in the bear mission, were you?
And
Oh,
came
the
back
bear
from our
mission.
previous thing.
Yeah. They were also injured. When
Great.
they went to fight the Red Shadow.
Oh, everybody's injured. Everyone was doing things.
But you finally all get to have a long rest. Now, I say you all get a long rest. I don't know how deep all of you sleep, but at around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you all hear a loud thunderclap. And for those of you that who have bedrooms on the backside of the mercenary company, which would be Elodie, who's not in there currently, definitely would be Perry. You hear your bedroom is completely covered in white light and you feel the entire manor shake as something has hit something very close outside the back of the shop, not the shop, the mercenary company. It would be loud enough to wake anybody but the deepest sleeper. I'm looking at Perry when I say that.
Which door am I like opposite?
You would be opposite. I think we described it. You were opposite Elodie and Lilla's room. So that door would be open. So unless your door was open, you wouldn't get like the blinding flash, but you would get the light come from underneath the door. So you would see that bit. It would be the same with Hera and Sunny as well. You'd get a sort of like a secondary flash from it.
What's the quickest way to there from our bedroom?
The quickest way would be to run into Perry's room, which is directly opposite, and jump out the window. That would be the quickest way. The second quickest way would be to go downstairs and go out the kitchen door.
I rolled a con save to see if I woke up, and high was I'm still asleep. Low is I wake up. Luckily, I rolled a 6 on the dice, so that makes it like an 11. So I think I wake up, but barely.
I think you wake up as I am coming through your bedroom door. I've got a sword in one hand, a child in the other, which I just drop off next to you and I just go out the window.
Grabs sides, also jumps down. With a blanket
Lucian
wrapped
follows
around.
and goes, "You've left me with the kid?"
Sonny's Sparko, still asleep. Didn't get woken up by a flash of light.
like literally stood up asleep.
Elodie would run through the back of the kitchen door and try and see what the noise was.
As Elodie runs out the back door, it takes you a minute to get it unlocked, but you get out of the back door, and as you go to look at where this lightning crash or thunder came from, you watch as two figures jump out of one of the windows. I'm going to need dexterity saving throws from both of you, or acrobatics checks, whichever one, to see if you are able to resist some of the damage.
I will use the power of NPC and look at Kanan and be like, "Will you watch Sunny?" And then I'll throw myself out the window following those two.
He stirs, looks, and you run out. You run off before any sort of interaction happens with Sunny and Udric. You all get outside through your various methods. What were the acrobatics / dexterity saving rolls from Perry and Hira?
16.
17.
17. Okay,
After
so
my test rolls, but
I'd say that you don't take any actual damage from jumping out of the windows because you're able to do the whole tuck and roll thing as you hit the ground. You know, you have to push the A button at just the right time to be able to tuck and roll without taking any full damage. So you're able to do that. As Elodie gets out and Lucian follows not far behind, you can see there is a large scar burn mark going down the side of the building that ends at the end of a short sword that is currently embedded into a bunch of crates, that have been absolutely blown apart. Looks like this is part of where the stables are, and the trough and the water thing that they use to feed the horses and whatever animals they would used to have here has been completely destroyed. And on the other end of the short sword, with lightning sparkling all over them, is Lilla. And you can see that she looks, I'm trying not to swear as much, but she looks pissed.
Lilla? Wait, first of all, were there horses in the stables?
No, there aren't any. They don't
Okay,
have any
good.
animals at the mercenary company now, but they might have done at some point.
Right, okay, fine. We'll have run towards and then sort of stopped in surprise to see her. What is this?
I'm pissed off, all right? Fucking pissed off. Josh, try not to swear too much, but did it anyway.
What happened? Where did you come from?
why is it 2 a.m.?
What was that noise?
That was me smashing stuff up. I'm annoyed, all right? I've just got back from the meeting with Kimdak for actions that members of the mercenary company have gone and done. You know, killing some of their own. And as you can see, and if you were to go look in the mercenary company, my grandfather isn't here anywhere. Kimdak decided that he wanted to keep Solomon there for a little while.
What? Oh, Lilla, I'm so sorry.
Bloody should be as well. I don't know what I'm going to do now, because I'm supposed to be going off on a mission in a couple of days' time. I can't go now, knowing that God knows what Guardians know what Kim Dak is going to be doing to my grandfather.
What is
I would-
there? Did they want anything? Did they? What can we do about it? Can we go and get him back?
Not without starting a full-scale war with the Reavers, no.
Not opposed to the idea.
I mean, I could quite easily smash a few heads in, but I had to be told not to by my grandfather. There was this whole discussion of Kim Dak wanted his pound of flesh. The two bears that are currently here, and you can see the bears are in the stables, but they're on the opposite end of the where all of this happened, and they're
I forgot
fast
about the
asleep.
bears. She would have spent some time hanging out with the bear cubs.
Oh yeah, he had plenty of time with them. They're over there, and like he wants the bears, he wants those cubs. He also wants 4 lives. My grandfather managed to talk him out of taking 4 lives and gave his own up instead. But Kim Dak still wants those bears, something that he needs them for.
I mean, in our defense, those Reavers did try to attack us.
Look, right, I'm annoyed at how the whole situation went, but I fully understand your actions. I would have done the exact same thing if I'd been put in the same situation. It's just unfortunate that that situation has now led to this.
Did he specify what lives need to be given?
So he wanted Solomon to pick 4 people from the town to be killed.
Did he specify the town?
Sorry?
He specified the town, or just 4 people in the town?
4 people in the town. He had to pick 4 people to be sent to Kim Dak's and to be killed.
So if we went and found at some point 4 unrepentant, villainous criminals who had no chance of redemption, brought them into the town, and then named them.
Don't think you want to go down a path where you think you've got the right to give capital punishment out like that. It's a dangerous game.
Yeah. Hero's eyes had just gone very dark and was glowing a little bit more purple glowing when she was saying that. I'm like,
But
yes, that is a terrible idea, and that should not be something we consider.
Apparently, I just come back to life whenever I die. What if you just kill me 4 times? Then I'll probably come back again. Does that work?
No.
doesn't sound like the right solution. Anyway, that doesn't matter now because my grandfather said that he'd had himself in for all 4 lives, which Kim Dak seemed to be okay with, but he still wants them bloody bears. He needs the bears for whatever it is he's doing.
So we need to figure out a way to fake the bears or find some different bears. Does anyone have a bear costume? Is there a costume shop in town?
I mean, now that you say that, there is a costume. No, that's not going to work. It needs to be something that's magical.
Oh.
There's something about the bears, the magic in them that he needs. I don't know what for or why. I got shooed out before I found out any more details, but Kim Dak's taking my grandfather up to their main base.
And sadly, we can't really make a decision without Udric's consent.
Which one's Udric?
He's upstairs looking after Sonny.
The
Right.
big nature
Right
guy.
up the window, where he's just standing probably at the window.
All right, that one. Okay.
He can speak to the bears.
That's a handy trick. That would be handy to have right now.
They don't want the bears. They want what's been genetically passed down to the bears through the infection.
But they're not infected, at least not to the same extent that their father was. I've been trying to run experiments on the pond water. It's taking forever. I've not had anything yet.
If we could at least say that we are trying to, I don't know the science terms for it, but like extract, is that it? That
Mm-hmm.
thing, then that.
Did you get any other samples from maybe that would help? I can cross-correlate things and see if that will help speed the results up. I don't know.
I am not saying that we should give them anything, but you are the smartest person in the room, and they want this.
We're technically outside.
It's 2:00 in the morning.
Fair. And Lila walks in. Walks into the kitchen.
But if I can figure out exactly what it is that is causing these mutations, then maybe I can figure out why it is that they want the bears in particular and unravel more about this.
This is the chat for the morning. I'll see you all when the sun is rising and I start climbing back up the building to my window.
I'm not going to make you roll for it.
Still in a blanket with my scythe.
You've still got the scythe as well. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but you climb in. It takes you a couple of tries because you go to climb in and the scythe is so wide that it's sort of like the dunk on the window. You have to turn yourself and then sort of fall in. You hear you probably just fall asleep on the floor without actually getting into bed.
I managed to crawl back in and cocoon myself again.
So what I'm hearing is we need to run interference long enough for you to figure out some pieces of information. Have you considered just letting the bears go? And at the end of the day, then technically we can't claim we've got them, but we can also point them in the direction of the wilderness, i.e. giving you at least a certain amount of time before they potentially capture them.
I was not under the impression the bears were here against their will. They don't have any. They are cubs. They don't have parents anymore, and Udric was looking after them.
No, and that's information we know, not them. If they knew that we're keeping them under our care, then the whole concept of us giving them becomes more obvious. But let's say if Canon was to just maybe take them for a walk into the woodlands and we were like, we don't actually know where they are, but we'll try find them for you. It gives you a little time. All I'm going to say is we want to keep Solomon alive, but we also don't want to give up these creatures. So we're going to have to find the middle ground to keep the Reavers and this big guy semi-compliant.
Wait, Lila. We'll go into the house after. Did you say that the Reavers want both the bears and 4 victims, or do they just want the bears or 4 victims?
Originally, it was both. They wanted both, but my grandfather giving himself up sort of nullified the 4 lives.
Okay.
So it's just the bears now.
Okay. That's easier to work with then, and maybe Lucine, your idea will work. She's sort of eyeing the alchemy station in the kitchen.
Yeah, they want the extract, not the bears. They can give a shit about the bears.
I mean, we could point them to the pond. They knew the pond was there. Surely they would have taken their own samples.
Elodie, I say this with the greatest thing. They're not as smart as you. No, I don't think anybody would be. The people that I know who would not be themselves here.
But someone has infected that pond. And if it's not them, then this is even larger than them. But I was under the impression that they had been corrupting the pond to then transform the bears. But if that's not the case, then I don't know.
Is this the point where Hera pretends to know less than she actually does again? Or are you going to just skip past that?
Get her! Sorry, I'm
I
not
don't know what you're talking about. Both player and character, either of you.
Well, it's totally up to you. We're just in quite an awkward situation.
We are, I think.
And if you'd like to prefer, you know what, if you want to keep it just whatever you want to talk about, if you just want to say it to Elodie, I'll go take a step out. I'm not offended.
We're refugees, Sonny and I, from the north. From the Tarragon Imperium attacking the Empire. Which means that we have to be aware of the certain situations. Especially the station of Sunny's original parents in order to protect what's going on. The lead players of the Imperium are the ones who are coming through, who I believe are the ones doing this. If they were here, we would already know.
Actually, that does.
I think they've sent their vanguards down, or at least one set of them.
That does make sense with the Paratrice. I was trying to think about. I had heard about certain experiments that the Imperium had been doing, so I've not had time. I've been reading up on other things, but I had borrowed a book about the history of the Empire from Solomon to read up on it. But if you know anything about those experiments, that might be useful.
I only know so much, and
oh, what was the name? Oh, there's a name I was thinking of. I remember seeing a paper with a name called Mortigan. Mortigan? Thank you, name in the sky.
Pestilence. He specializes in biological and chemical warfare.
Well, I suppose that makes sense.
Enjoys.
He's also the bloody horseman of pestilence, if you were to believe in titles, and you just hear a loud, like a loud spit noise as Lida spits something into a bin.
Yes. That.
Okay. Do you happen to know anything about the particular experiments he was doing?
Always more up his sleeve. Anything and everything that piqued his interest, but not enough staying power, focus. He was very good. There were a lot of things going on, but I've been told that he would go as far as to change the makeup of his own soldiers and turn them into loyal walking monsters. Whole towns would fall because of his influences.
But the Empire are so far away. Do we think that maybe they're trying here to take over here? What is Merkstead an important hold for them?
I wouldn't know about their plans for expansion. We were affected when they started moving east into the Empire, but this far south. I don't know, but what this place does have that some of the others is an established villain group. And some of their vanguards may have come down to start something, maybe for like a pincer movement, but in the long run, plans come into fruition a long time after they're started.
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm surprised they're actually making any sort of moves at the minute. The upper echelons of the Imperium, from what I've heard, have been all over the place at the minute. They've lost 2 of their horsemen, the third one's gone rogue. It's just they've just got 1 left. They're in the process of recruiting new ones at the moment, up in their promoting their generals and putting them through the Emperor's Light trial or whatever it is that they do. But yeah, there's just the 1 at the minute. They made that 1 the War Master.
Who have they lost?
There was the Harbinger of Death, the War Master. They both disappeared at the same time just over a year ago, and the mistress of famine, the horsemen of famine, just decided to up and leave. No real reason. Don't know any of their names, just know them by their titles. It's left the pestilence one as the war master.
That's going to go so well.
As this conversation is happening, everybody with a passive perception over 10 who's currently in the kitchen can begin to see the room is getting a bit foggy, and it's got a bit of a purple tinge to it.
Immediately hold my breath.
As you look over, it's almost like a microwave with like a ding noise. The alchemical stuff that Elodie was doing pings, and there's like a bright flash that comes from that. As that flash happens, for Perry, you don't see this. You're in a completely different room. You have no vision of it whatsoever. But there is something that goes through your head like a sharp headache, sharp pain in your head. And it just causes your eyes to just burst open. For the audience, as Perry's eyes burst open, they are filled with purple, and the markings on your body are purple before fading back into their more angelic yellows. But you are awake.
On my body?
Yeah, you've got some like little tattoos on your body, haven't you? I'm going off the artwork.
No.
You do now.
I do now. Oh,
and then
wow.
they disappear.
Huh.
They do. You get purple markings on your body for the briefest of instants before they completely disappear. And you are awake like you are fully rested.
Tuck and roll out of bed. Ha! Okay, down. Oh, and I'm gonna hear anyone in the kitchen.
It's like a radar on your head. It's like a bing, bing, and you can feel this magical energy coming from downstairs where the kitchen is, probably.
I duck and roll downstairs.
Where the kitchen is, probably. Sorry, my voice went really high there that nobody probably heard it.
I discard my blanket. I'm probably just in my underwear. I just start charging down there, completely full of beans.
You charge down, you burst into the kitchen in your undergarments, and everybody is stood there in a cloud of smoke with Elodie probably trying to fan out the smoke. Yeah.
Sorry. I was distracted. I wasn't keeping an eye on it.
What's going on?
Wash it with my hands.
Who summoned me?
Summoned you?
Yeah, something, I don't know, something woke me up, and there's something down here. What's going on? What have I missed?
You're very awake and hyped.
Blinking very quickly.
Oh, okay. Did you have some jelly beans?
I only had a couple. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Maybe we need to work on your intake.
I don't think the jelly beans are a problem. I just suddenly woke up. So what's going on? What did I miss? Because there was Lila came back. Solomon's gone. Why is there smoke in here?
Okay, so I was doing experiments on the pond water and the powder, the residue left over by the creatures that inflamed in purple, and it flashed. I'm still trying to figure out. Josh, do I know what that means?
Before we do that, there was a very important thing that Talia said that I'd like to quickly circle back to. You said you just put your hand on it to put it out because of things that are to do with you, yes? Yes. You will take 3 points of fire damage. However, your resistance doesn't seem to work.
Oh, why would you touch it?
Seems like the best thing to do at the time.
Inside, having a look, there is it's the water that is finished basically, and what is left inside is all the water is evaporated. All the pond water is evaporated, and it is left like a gloopy, almost like syrupy purple substance that's got loads of like little sparkles. Imagine like when you extract salt or sugar from water or something, like those little diamond dust things, but it's mixed in with all of this purple, and as Perry gets closer to it, you can watch as Perry's eyes begin to go the same color. And yeah.
I go very close trying to smell it.
Oh, maybe don't inhale just until we know. This was corrupting. You saw what this did to the daddy bear.
Oh, with the ribs coming out. Yeah, I remember that.
I need a history check from Perry, please, with advantage for
With
sniffing.
okay.
It's a sniff history check.
A sniffy check.
Sniffy check. Yes, I'm not doing that.
I have -1 to history, so that makes it an 18.
Ah.
Okay, so as you sniff, it is a familiar smell. To start off with, it's a smell that you recognize but don't have a clue what it is. But it's almost like it hits you like a truck, and this memory just floods back into you, and you are pretty much you're in Merkstead. You're looking out through like a first-person point of view. You're in Merkstead. You can see stood in front of you, just to your left, is Solomon. You're sitting in his office, and you've got a large journal in front of you, and you are writing in the journal. You can see, looking at your hands, they are completely sort of like a tan color, and you have got. Hang on, Josh, trying to pick a color, Evie.
Pink.
Pink. You have got pink draconic scales going all the way down your hand as you are writing in this book. You can see on Solomon's desk there is a cauldron with the same sort of smoke pouring out of it. And Solomon walks around. He looks about maybe 20 years younger than what he currently does. And he goes over to you. He's like, oh, so you're telling me that you've managed to harness pure aether in this form? And your reaction to that would be, or a voice comes out that isn't yours, and he's like, yes, I've done all of the studies through all the journals that I have, all of my previous what's the word for multiple lives?
Incarcerations? No, incarcerations.
That's the word I was thinking.
Incarnations?
Incarnations. Thank you. All of my previous incarnations, we've accumulated all of this data into these 3 journals. And yes, we've been able to extract pure aether. Now, I don't know what it is that Kimdak wants to do with this, but this is a technical marvel. This stuff could be used to fuel all forms of technology. And Solomon looks at you and goes, Betrayal, we have to make sure that he does not get hold of this. We have to be careful with it. This could be catastrophic to not just us, not just here, not just now, but anywhere. We need to hide this from him. And the memory begins to fade away, and you come back into yourself. This was your previous life. You know this. This was your previous life where you worked with Solomon 20 years ago.
That's a lot of information.
It does raise a question, though, from that, because from when you first met Solomon went through the times that he's worked with you before. He said that the last time that he worked with you was 20 years ago, and unfortunately you died. But you now know that that was your last life. So when you've reincarnated, there's been a 20-year gap between.
Ooh. Oh no. Well, maybe I was reincarnated somewhere very far away. It's more questions than answers at this moment. But yeah, I come back into the room. It's like, I've seen this before. It's pure aether. Pure aether.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so it's gonna sound really trippy, but previous life, I figured this out with Solomon. We were trying to get it away from Kimdak. So Kimdak wants this, what you've made on the stove.
Okay. Why would you need the bears, though? They've not drunk enough to be corrupted.
Well, it might be that they are the perfect equilibrium where they've had enough that it's imbued itself within them without actually being corrupted to the state where they're dangerous. Just going off the top of my head.
It's incredibly smart.
I know.
Huh. Okay, so we could release the bears, but what if I were to find a way to rid them of any ether they have within them at all and make them totally mundane? Then they are completely useless to Kimdak, and then we could give the bears... Oh, I really don't want to give him the bears anyway. He might kill them if he finds out that they're useless.
Regardless, we need to kind of mask that you've uncovered the Aether here.
Yes.
Just get rid of the traces, I think. I don't know how to properly dispose of it. I mean, I don't know, bake it into a pie or something, give it to Kim Dak. No, not that. That's the opposite.
No.
Again, the broken clock has gone wrong again.
I think Solomon knows a lot more about things than he has told us, and if he is as experienced as your memories seem to suggest, and I have an inkling that he is, then he would have equipment to keep this safe in.
Also, they have my journals. And I think information about the substance is in my journals.
Right.
That's not good. Oh no, that's not good.
Add it to the list of reasons why we need to be safe about taking them down.
Could I take the vial? As I said, I've had to think of ways to keep ourselves safe when we made our escape from the north. So I think I've got some stuff that could keep it banked.
It's not going to... You're not going to actually get rid of the dust, you're just going to lock it away?
Yes. I would do nothing that got Sunny in danger, so you know it will be fine.
I would like to have it handy to keep doing experiments, but...
My hand is very close to it.
I mean, you said... Wait, did Nat hear this, or did Peripatea tell us that it can be used to enhance things?
I don't think I said that, but I could say that.
Oh no, if you wouldn't have, then that's okay. I can pretend I didn't hear it.
I probably would have. I don't have a good memory for things on the fly.
I just think that, based off what Perry definitely just said, that if, now that we've got this, if we think that it can be used to enhance weapons, not just biological creatures, maybe it will give us an upper hand against the Reavers if we were to go against them.
Fair enough.
Especially if they have the journals and they have the technology. It would just be meeting on an even playing field, potentially.
But I do agree about keeping it secret and hidden, so I wonder, is Lila still here?
She stood in the room like, what the hell are you lot going on? She stood next to Lucian with her arms crossed, like, what?
Lila.
Yeah.
Have you noticed in your grandfather's possessions at all any sort of safe boxes, lock boxes, or any alchemical equipment that might come in a box with a sort of a waxed or oilskin lining?
He's got a couple of things in his office. He keeps a lot of stuff down in his vault room, but all of the super precious stuff he actually keeps in his office in a secret area.
But it's not a secret because you know about it.
Secret to everybody else, yeah.
And we didn't hear you talk about it, and we wouldn't know. But if there were any sort of containers, anything like that would help stop outside influences from detecting that we have raw ether here?
I'm sure there's something in there, yeah.
Would you like to go and find something?
Are you asking me to?
Unless you want to condone the rest of us breaking into your grandfather's office.
I'm not here. So if you'd like to, it's behind his desk, the bookshelf behind his desk. You want to pull the third book from the right on the second shelf down.
Sweet. Goes and
I
does it immediately.
know nothing. I know nothing about what you're talking about. I want nothing to do with it because then I can't get in trouble.
We're literally working to try and save him.
You are, but there's still repercussions for your actions, and if I'm not involved, I can't get in trouble.
Just tell your mum. And sotto voce.
You all leave the kitchen area. Actually, no. Do you all leave to go to Solomon's office, or do some of you stay with the strange liquid?
Can I bring it with me?
You can bring it with you if you want.
Carefully.
Yeah, in the same sort of container that it's in. You walk, Lucian. What are you doing?
I'm coming with for now.
So
I want to have a look in this office or secret compartment area as well.
okay, so you go into the office. You've all been in here at some point, I believe, and spoken to Solomon, so you know exactly which bookshelf it is that Lilla is talking about. Lilla doesn't enter the room, doesn't even stand in the doorway, just sort of stays in the kitchen area. You walk over to it. Who wants to pull it?
Well, I think Perry said that.
So you
Go for
pull the lever, and as you pull the lever, you hear the sounds of mechanisms working behind it, and you all watch as the entire room is encompassed in a red light, and that is where we're going to take a break. Come back to see what trap the party have set off trying to enter into the book, trying to enter the bookshelf. Go take a short rest. We will see you all in a little bit, and watch the break if you want to. Short rest, bye.
Gonna be fine.
Welcome back, everybody. We have had our short rest, and we are ready to jump back into finding out what this trap is that the party have triggered. Ugh. In the first half of the session, our group came together and discussed a variety of different things, mainly what had happened to most of the party in the previous encounter, as well as what Elodie had been up to with the research that she had done with the symbologies and sorting out the pond water, the contaminated pond water and the dust. Bit of a conversation with Rodney ensued, and Elodie had a little sleep downstairs. Over the course of the night, there was a loud lightning strike outside, and the party all, through various hilarious means, got out the back, and Lilla was there, having caused the lightning strike to hit part of the building, destroying a bunch of crates and boxes and old farm stable stuff that they had. Lilla explains that they had gone to, herself and Solomon had gone to meet with Kimdak. Kimdak was not happy that 4 of his people had been killed and that the team didn't have the bears, so wanted basically his pound of flesh and the bears. Solomon gave himself up for the 4 lives, but Kimdak still wants the bears. Solomon has been taken further up into the mountains towards the main hideout of the Reavers, which is apparently right at the top. We come back into the session as Lilla has said to everybody that there is... Oh, sorry. One big thing that I completely skipped over is the pond water stopped cooking. This caused Perry to instantly wake up in a completely different part of the mercenary company and come straight downstairs and have a memory of their past life. And it's discovered that this stuff is pure aether, which has got nothing to do. It's like for a little bit of world building, everybody, aether is the precursor to all of the other magics. So you got your fire, earth, water, light, dark, and nature magic, and then you've got aether, which is like the grand parent of it all. So the
Awesome.
start.
that surrounds us and binds us and brings us all together.
It does. That is exactly what it is, but I can't use that for trademark reasons. Anyway, we come back in as you have all learnt of a secret compartment that Solomon has in his office, and as Perry has been the one to click it, a red light has started flashing in the room. Now, a question that I have for everybody. Does anybody have more than 100 hit points?
We're level 3.
I just thought I'd ask. You never know. So as this is pulled and this red light goes, I'm just going to pick somebody at random. Hera goes to turn around and stops moving, as does everybody else. You all stop moving. Perry is in a motion with the book in finger, and you just stop moving. You can move your eyes, and you can sort of talk, but you're all frozen in place. But the red light is still going off.
It's going to be a real exciting second half of this episode, folks.
It is really exciting. You do hear a laugh come from outside. Told ya! That's payback for all the crap you've caused. As that was Lila in the kitchen.
I'm going to kill that dwarf.
I had nothing to do with it.
Neither have I.
I'm not entirely sure how that helps anything.
You all hear some footsteps coming down the stairs, and you just hear, Lila, what are you doing up? Why is the light flashing in Father's office? What do you mean you pranked everybody? That's you. And Perry sneezes. I said, what's going on in there? Opens up. Oh my, why are you all in here? And you can see Lila is in like full nightgown, dressing gown over the top. Like, what are you
Tali.
all?
Tali.
What did I say?
Lila.
Tali, yes. The mother. It walks in, it's like, oh, what? Right. She sort of weaves her way between all of you and goes to her father's desk, and you can't see what she's doing, but the lights turn off and you all sort of unfreeze. What are you all doing in my father's office?
Just wanted somewhere safe to store this highly dangerous substance. That's all.
Right. And Lila didn't tell you about the trap and where the mechanism was to disable it because she's funny. Okay.
Because she's a prick, to just clarify that.
I can't say that because I'm her mother, but...
Well, I can. You're a prick!
Yeah, I know! You hear footsteps going up the stairs.
Tali, I need to go outside. That was not great for me.
Okay, yeah, sure. The bookcase continues to... It sort of like pushes in on itself and then goes to the left behind the other bookcases, and there is a small room in there with loads of little shelves, and there's items and things all over the place. People can make me can make me perception or investigation checks if they'd like to have a look at what is in here.
My dice is not cursed,
Hey!
thankfully. That was a nat 20 on perception for 25.
That was a nat 20 for a 24.
Oh.
Joining to get the barbarians.
Barbarians!
We're broken.
I'm going to roll with disadvantage because being held against my will is not doing great things for Hera's general well-being. That... bringing up things she does not like. I'm still a 12, but yeah, not doing well. Very obviously not doing great with that.
Okay.
Ooh, what did you roll?
Elodie rolled a 15. I think it's slightly dazzled by just how freaking cool having a library with a secret bookshelf that slides is.
Awesome. And what did Hero roll?
12.
12. Okay, so with your rolls, I will come to the natural 20s last because I will do two separate results. With the 15, you can see that there are some alchemical supplies in this little alcove area. They're coated in a heavy layer of dust. You can also see, sort of at the bottom, on the bottom shelf, there is some containers with one of them. It doesn't have a lid on it, and it looks like it's a container with like a soft padding in, and it's got like little holes in for like test tubes and stuff. Then there's a couple of test tubes in there. Whether they're full or not, you're not sure, but you can see just sort of tucked behind that is a very small, probably about jewelry box size box that looks like it fits what you're looking for. I will go for the natural 20s. With the natural 20s, with Lucian's natural 20, there are a number of different books or like diaries and things in here. There's two that stand out to you. One of them, as you sort of flick through and just look at the spines of them, look at the front of them and put them back.
Just a small caveat, Lucian can't read.
Oh.
You can't. But you do recognize that one has more numbers than letters. And with a natural 20, would assume it's some sort of a ledger. So you could take that. One of the cases of the book, one of the books looks very personalized and very very old. Picking it up, Tally goes, "Oh, that's my father's diary." So you find diary and ledger. For Perry's natural 20, there is a glass box right at the back that's almost embedded in the wall. It looks like glass. It's see-through anyway. And inside it looks to be a very, very old book that has the same sort of look to it as the journals that you've seen in your memory. But it looks very old, and the writing on the front cover you cannot read.
Hang about for one moment while I check something. Damn it. Okay. I kind of look at it and I'm like, huh. My fingers start to glow golden a little bit. I kind of put them in my ears and kind of brush over my eyes, and I've cast Comprehend Languages.
Even with Comprehend Languages, you don't know this language.
Mm.
Damn it. That's old.
It tells you it's a very old language.
Oh, man.
But with your natural 20, that handwriting looks familiar.
Familiar?
To you, it does, yeah.
Familiar as in it's my own hand, or I know the person who would have written it? No.
Both, because you don't know yourself, but also it looks like your handwriting.
I think this is mine.
But you can't get to it because it's behind a glass case. Like a porcelain, you can't physically get your hands on it. It looks like glass, it's see-through. It's not glass, I know what I mean.
I touch it.
You touch it, and as your finger touches against it, you can see like on the inside of it, there's like a boom, boom, like a magical barrier on the inside is preventing the form of the, just going to call it glass, from moving.
I don't like this.
Her father's had that book for, well, I mean, as long as I've been alive, so...
Yeah, it's mine.
How are you sure?
I just know. That's my handwriting.
Oh.
I know I've been keeping journals through different lifetimes. That's what got stolen. Solomon said there were 3. And I also pretty rich that, he put mine somewhere that could be stolen, but not his own. But now there's a 4th one, which is so much older. How old am I? And why hasn't he told me about this?
I think maybe my previous comment about at least trying to trust him was probably wrong. It seems you've got quite a few good reasons to not trust him.
What is Tally's reaction to all of this?
She is shocked at. She's obviously more shocked at the fact that you're all in here, sort of snooping, but seeing a lot of this stuff. Obviously, the ledger in her father's journal. Yeah, that's fine. The book she knew about, but there's other things in here that she's sort of looking at in a bit of a, oh, okay, right, I'm not quite sure. And I should say that those of you that rolled a natural 20 as well, there are things like trinkets and things in here that you're not quite sure what they are, but they seem to be categorized as if you're like in a museum or something. So they've each got like a little tag on them with what looks to be a year and a date and a location. And you can see that they're all in almost like a timeline order from oldest to youngest, the book being the oldest, but bang smack in the center. For Hera, you, even with the 12, you're sort of a bit taken aback by the events that have just happened. And as you sort of glance or go to look away, there's something that just pings in the corner of your eye that only you would pay attention to. And as you turn your head back, you can see that there is a small box, and there seems to be some paperwork underneath that box, and something like a slab of something behind it. Would you like to do anything with that? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and shake myself, like literally just like snap myself back into like perfect soldier attention again, and then go off and just take a dagger just to go and poke at it, but just have a look to see what it is.
So the folder, it's like a similar to the folders that are on Solomon's desk currently. Your typical filing system, it's like the entire contents of a mission briefing are within this folder. You look at it and it has a date on it, as does the box that it's sitting on top of. That's sitting on top of it, sorry, and they're both the same date. Both dates are for about 12 years ago, and it says the name Shattershield on it. And behind it, there is a slate that you can pull out, and on that slate, it's like an illusionary image. It's a picture, effectively, but it's made out of illusion magic, and it's put onto a slate. And it is of Solomon in the center, with a very small tally next to him, another small dwarven male on the other side of him, and a group and bunch of like adventurers stood behind him. The slate at the bottom has a plaque with names on it, and it says Solomon's Mercenary Company. And you can see that it says Solomon, no final name, no certain name. Next on the right, it's the dwarf man's name is Luca Brightaxe. On the right side, there is Tally Brightaxe, and then it says the names of all of the adventurers behind. There are two names for you that stand out here. One of them is Manic Delcrow, and the other one is Jessen Delcrow. And as you read, if you want to read through the rest of the names of the adventurers going from left to right, we have got Alexandro Silveroak, O'Brenna Shattershield, Mary Lighthoof, Adwin Lighthoof, Savannah, Manic Delcrow, and Jessen Delcrow.
All right, hands up. Who's got Savannah in their backstory?
No one here.
Will there be a list of all of these names?
I can put a list of all these names up if you'd like. Yep, I'll
Yes,
put that.
please.
I'll put that in the chat after the session.
Thank you, because if it took you a while to remember them, it's going to take me a while to write them down.
Mm-hmm.
Tally looks at you as you look at that, and she gets a very sad look on her face. Oh, there's Luca Brightaxe, Tally Brightaxe, and Solomon on there as well. And she just looks and goes, "Oh yes, that was those were the first members of the mercenary company when Father first started. All great friends. Most are not with us anymore." And then looks over one of the faces and gives it a bit of a sneer. before looking back at you.
Which face is this?
The face of the woman wearing very dark clothing, very pale of skin, dark clothing, Savannah. That one we don't talk about.
Is there anything that Hira should be noticing in more detail that Talia might not be smart enough to look for?
Manic and Jessen are Sunny's parents.
Okay, I got that. So I'm just noticing if there's anything else.
Tally looks at it and goes, I'll tell you what, he does look like his father now that I've seen him a bit more grown up. But it just points to the elf on the end. That's Bram's father and Bram's mother there.
Oh. Yeah, you can see the resemblance.
Mm.
I'm sorry about your friends.
I know. It's a long time ago. This photo was taken quite a while ago when, as you can see, I'm quite young there. I'd only just got married to Luca there. It's long before Lilla came about. So, still, I miss him. I miss all of them, to be fair. It's nice to have people in the mercenary company now. And I feel really strange having this conversation stood in my dad's secret closet. Can we come out?
Oh, gosh. Tali, I don't know if Lilla told you the reason we're in here. Okay. Those supplies, they look good. Yes, that will do. We'll gather up the box that you were indicating. I do want to have a little sneaky look. You said there were other test tube vials that I couldn't see from the angle I was before, but we'll just sort of like, as I get closer, if there's anything that feels useful, might just sneak that.
As you get closer, you feel a strange pull to something under there, but not a pull to the point where you have to grab it and take it, but there is something that is sort of pulling you there, coming from there, that area.
While she's flustering, we'll, I don't know if, Lilla told you, but, your father has been taken hostage by Kemdak.
What?
I'm really sorry. We're going to work it out. We're going to figure it out. But the reason that that's happened is, looks at Perry,
who is trying to break into the wall at this very moment.
Okay. It is sort of our fault, but not our fault really. We had an altercation with some of the with the mercenary, not with the mercenary companies. We had an altercation with some of the Reavers, and they were definitely going to cause problems if we were caught, so we thought we got them all. I could have sworn we got them all.
You can see that she's crying, and she goes and sits on the sofa in the office, and she says, "Has this got anything to do with those bears?"
Yes. Yes, they were doing awful. They were trying to take the bears. We think for some kind of experiment. I'm looking into it. I'm looking to see what we can harness here to help. But I promise you, we are going to try and get him back safely. But we think that giving them the bears will be a very bad thing.
I don't understand what Kimdak would want with the bears. Do you know? Oh.
Some of the missions. Have you not read the reports? Did you read Hira's report about the terrifying chickeny bird creature?
I did read that report. Yes.
Yes. So there's that we believe people are doing experiments on creatures, and the bears. The bear's father was. And she's just going to blah, 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 like everything, unless anyone stops her.
I am using this distraction to see if I can go and see what's in the box and the file.
Much as I want to support Elodie right now, as a player, I am just brute forcing this wall. I'm so sorry.
Great. I'm glad that I can enable further crimes.
Yeah, Tally is definitely distracted by the verbal vomit that is being spewed on her at the moment from Elodie. So is there anything Lucian would like to do while this is happening?
He's just gonna stand and like lean on the back wall, because I think he kind of passes over the two books to Perry, just sort of like as he saw them looking at the books the first time. kind of not sure, just almost like, I don't know if these are useful to you.
And
And then just kind of goes, and he just doesn't, like, because it's all books and papers and stuff, he's not really interested.
As you pass them over, Perry I would just say to you, whatever your name is, can you help me with this? You've got big arms.
Can I make...
You do crime.
Big arms do crime.
I don't do crime, not directly.
Anymore.
I'm sorry, I'm not particularly versed in how to bypass magical things.
Everything can be bypassed with enough brute force.
All right, I'll push, you pull.
A little bit of black is coming to the eyes. I'm incensed.
Okay, so I will allow you either both to roll an athletics check.
I'll pass it on to Perry. This is Perry's fight.
Perry can roll with advantage.
Thank you. Okay, that is 15 plus 6 for a 21.
Okay, so you're able to, and the rage begins to take over as the recognition of this book starts to hit home, and you begin to sort of try to get your hand, like this thing is like proper in the wall. It's difficult for you to get your hands on your fingers to find purchase, so you just sort of go, and you almost thrust your fingers into the wall through the concrete. You will take some damage from that, but you grip onto it and you begin to pull, and it begins to slide slowly out. It's going to take you a bit of time, but you will eventually be able to get this case out of the wall. How you're going to get into the case is another question, but you can see as you've got hold of it and you're instinctively pushing inwards to be able to get that grip and push it and pull it out, that this strange barrier on the inside is consistently going off like droplets of water and seemingly stopping the glass, I'm calling it glass, from bending and sort of altering its form as you're pulling it.
Getting in there's a problem for another time. Yeah, I'm just imagining there's a horrible grinding noise just to backdrop Elodie's truth bombs.
And then we killed the father, but then they turned up and
It's a horrible noise as Hero sits down with the box and with the file. The file itself, as I said, it dates back to 12 years ago, and it says Obrenna Shatter Shield on it. And as you open the file out and begin reading it, it begins detailing a mission that took place where four former members of the mercenary company were hired to go and deal with some harpies. Unfortunately, there was an incident there with everyone being injured, but one losing a limb and one unfortunately succumbing to their wounds. It notes down that this Obrenna Shatter Shield went back and killed all of the harpies and managed to retrieve an item that Solomon had specifically requested from them, and that item is inside this box. This box, as you open it up, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I need a wisdom saving throw from Hera. Let's do it that way.
Oh, that is 23.
Oh, okay, that's a lot higher than I thought it was going to be. Okay, as you open it, you are instantly hit with shock, as inside of it there is a medallion, blackened with a crack going down like from one side to the other. It looks very similar to a medallion / amulet that you once had, but it's not yours.
I would like to pocket it.
As you put your hand in to touch it and sort of grip around, everything around you goes black. And we're going to come back to you in a second. As the rest of you, as this box is being pulled out, and as the final moments of that box coming out and sort of slamming on the floor because of how heavy it is, even though you can see that this is a completely clear case with just a book in the center, it is heavier. It's like you pulled a pure stone slab out of a wall, and it's just got. And you're gonna, if you want to get it out of this room, you're gonna have to drag it along the floor. You're not gonna be able to just carry it normally. So with Lucian's help, you can do that. Tally is taking everything in that Elodie is saying, and she's still crying, and she's beginning to stop crying. But as all of this is happening, you will hear a loud thud as Hera just falls off of her chair and onto the floor completely unconscious.
Lucian's like, what the fuck is happening in this room?
So many things.
Too much plot at once.
I'll go over to her and like sort of, do the sort of classic gentle like tap on the cheek. I'm like, you there?
Hera's eyes are open, but they are completely black.
Black eyes. Penny, do you know anything about this?
About what? Oh,
She's
No.
still breathing?
hang on. I'll try and whoop, little electric shock of cure wounds.
You give a little bit of a shock to Hera. Doesn't seem to do anything.
Does the cure wounds do anything? I've got 3 hit points I can get back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can get those hit points back. Yeah, that's fine.
Might as well get something out.
Yeah, might as well.
Please take 5 points of healing damage.
That's fine.
I look up to Tally and say, shut the door. Just in case Sonny comes, a kid shouldn't see something like this.
Tally runs over and shuts the door. Hera is just laying on the floor, motionless, lightly breathing. The blackness of her eyes begins to cause tears to pour down, and the tears are complete darkness as they begin pouring down her face.
Can I look at what Hera was looking at?
You can indeed. Make me a... Oh no, you don't need to make any sort of a check. There was a file on the table. You can give it a brisk read and you see the mission briefing and all of that, and the item that had been retrieved was inside the box. It's not in the box now.
So there's just nothing.
There's nothing in the box.
He passively passes the pages to Elodie to read, and then looks around on the floor behind the chair that Hera had sat down on, looking for something that should have been inside the box.
There definitely should have been something in there, the letter suggests, so.
It doesn't take you long to find it. It's in her hand, but her hand is clenched in the fist. All you can see is the string of the medallion popping out of the top part of her fist. But you can see that, and that's the only part of her that seems to have any sort of life to it at the minute. It's all white-knuckled, holding onto it as tight as she can.
Are there any cushions on the chairs?
Yeah.
I grab a cushion, pull out the insides of the cushion, and then I put the cushion around Hera's hand, and then I put my hand on top of Hera to try unclaw the fist so it falls inside of the cushion, and then you can just seal it.
Where is the cup of aether syrup?
I had been holding it, but I guess during the rambling explanation to Tali, I will have put it in the safe box that I found, clocking that was something else that I was curious about down there, but the task of explain to Tali what's going on kind of took over.
with it in the box begins to vibrate violently.
Well, hold on. Stop what you're doing. Whatever it is, stop it right now. Everyone just stop. I'm going to carefully open the... Does it stop if everyone stops?
No, it doesn't stop. Still
Bring-
vibrating violently.
Bring the box closer to the item.
She does so.
As you get closer with the item, it vibrates to the point where it falls out of your hand and lands like a lead balloon or lead ball right next to Hera's head.
I feel like if it got worse, like the fraction of a second it got worse, she would step away rather than
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so you pull that
close.
away. Yeah.
Oh,
before
I
it
don't
gets
think that's a good
uncontrollable.
idea.
I think the box is trying to get the item back.
If the
Different
item's the
box.
problem, should we amputate the hand?
I'm just gonna try like going as far away from here as possible. Does and peeking open the box with the ether in again.
As you begin to peek the box open, you watch as little droplets begin to come out of the box and begin floating towards where Hera is. You quickly shut it, but the stuff that's already come out begins floating over towards Hera and touches her on the face. And you watch as purple energy, just almost like a large stone hitting water, goes across her face, and a purple hue begins to emanate from the thing that she's holding.
I was going to mention, I have been kind of crouched at her head, kind of wiping the tears away as the ghost is kind of saying, "It's okay, it will go eventually." And as it kind of goes and it goes into her skin, I will try and wipe it away as quickly as I can. Like,
As you go to wipe it away, the same thing happens with you with the purple eyes, and some of it goes into Hera's skin and some of it attaches to you.
oh no.
Lucian steps next to Elodie at this point.
What is happening?
Creepy juice is making things go weird.
Okay, is there anywhere in this mercenary company other than Solomon's office where I know that there is a safe place to lock this box?
You know, Lila told you of a vault down in the basement that nobody other than Solomon has access to.
Is it through his office?
It's not through his office. You have to go. Is it through his? No, it's not through his office. You have to go out and down. Basically, there's a stairway that leads downstairs.
Okay. Is Lila still outside, or is she buggered
She's
off?
gone upstairs. She's buggered off. She's had her fun.
Okay. Tali, is there anywhere else that could you put this in the? Do you know where the safe house is?
The vault downstairs?
The vault, yes. Sorry,
I know,
the vault.
I know where it is, but I've never been in there. I don't have access to it.
Oh, for goodness sake. I might go put it in the fridge.
Yeah, you can go put it in the fridge.
I'm going to post it on it.
Just pour it down my throat.
Don't eat.
Not for cooking.
Do not open.
Do not open, not for consumption. Elodie's experiments. Yeah, there will be a hastily scrawled note, and I'm just going to, maybe the cold will help stop it vibrating, and, run, go shove it in there, and then come back.
You can hear it going inside this chiller box. It's not doing it violently because you've gone so far away from it now, but it's going. It's like a phone vibrating consistently.
We'll deal with that later. It's fine.
At this point, could I try and attempt to peel Hera's hand away from this item so we can get it away from her?
Yeah, you can make a athletics check to try and pry her hands open.
Point of order, am I still conscious or am I just purpled?
You're just
Oh,
purpled. You
It's
haven't fallen unconscious.
That's only a 10.
So you try to pry fingers and you can't feel any give. You try to start with the thumb because the thumb's wrapped around. You try to pull that, but it moves, but it's not. The grip is not loosening at all.
Is it the grip or is it sealed? I think that's the question I'm sort of looking for. Because I'll just rage and try again. But if I think it's actually fused and I'm just going to rip her hands to pieces, then I'm not going to do that.
No, you can see from how close you are that her knuckles are a very light purple, basically white knuckling as she's gripping onto this.
So I think I could get it free.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, do you think you can get it free? Is what I should be asking.
Well, as long as it's not fused, I'm gonna have a go.
Yeah,
Right?
it doesn't look fused. You can see that, like, the bits that aren't touching skin, it doesn't look like there's any sort of like fusion that's happened between skin and metal.
Well, he's gonna throw his jacket off, and then he'll wrap his hands with the wraps to get better grip, and put them around and try almost like clump his two fists around her hand to try to pull it off so it'll drop into the bag.
Okay. Make me an athletics check with advantage, because I'm guessing that's your description of rage.
Yo.
I thought so.
Oh. That was a 7 for 13.
Oh no.
With advantage.
Yeah. And
You-
I've got good athletics.
You pull, and you can see that her thumb comes loose. You're going to probably need to do at least one more check to be able to actually get it. But you can see the thumb is resisting you and trying to form back into a knuckle, trying to grip onto this thing again.
I'm strong, and I think you're trying not to break my hand apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've pretty sure I'm gonna have to dislocate the thumb. He like looks at Perry, goes, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to dislocate a thumb.
I'm sure she'll prefer that to us lopping it off.
All right, I'm gonna go for literally like the pop, dislocate the thumb to completely like take the grip away, so it's more of like a slide it out than it is a brute force. But
Yep. I'll let you roll again with advantage.
Where's the fight scene?
Okay,
I am the fight scene.
I got a 19 and a natural 20. They had to
Oh.
come at some point.
God.
For a 26.
Okay, so
Dislocating the thumb apparently was the tactic.
you just have to sort of jerk it super quick, and you watch as it pops out of place, that extra little bit of a bulge there, and the fingers instantly relax and release, and this amulet falls out of Hera's hand and lands into the bag that you placed on the
Immediately wrap it up and dump it back in the box, shut the box.
Yeah. While all of this has been happening, we are going to pull ourselves into a very dark void.
Oh.
Every Saturday night.
Anyway, Hera,
Yes.
you are in complete and utter darkness. You are seemingly laying flat on your back with like a rippling effect happening around you, like you're laying in water, but you don't feel wet. You can hear the sound of scratching coming from further, like in front of you, sort of thing, but you can't make out any sort of directions. You can get to your feet, and you can hear the scratching get louder and louder, and you watch as this liquid floor that you're stood on begins to fall away, and as you look down, you can see that it's falling away like rain. Is like you're stood on top of rain, and it's raining down somewhere. And you watch as this strange, almost iridescent bridge begins to form, or walkway begins to form in front of you. And as this happens, you can see that it leads right up to a set of stairs with, on top, a figure sitting on a chair. As the walkway, as the light sort of encompasses them, it's like the light is fighting against whatever's sitting in this chair, and the darkness coming from the chair seems to win and pushes that dark energy down into this iridescent light and causes it to turn into a grey-black iridescent bridge. As that sort of extends out and under your feet, you are instantly locked in place. You can still move the rest of your body, but what you think is your body anyway, but your feet are locked in place, and you begin getting pulled towards this figure, similar to being on like one of those escalator things at an airport, and you move all the way along to the foot of the stairs, and this figure is just looking down on you, and you recognize this figure. Their voice is very androgynous. I can't do that. I'm just going to do the voice I'm going to do. My little harbinger. I see you have returned. Are you here to accept your emperor's light? Or do you still wish to seek the path of redemption?
I truly believe that it can be both, Lord.
How naive you are, sister. And you watch as this hooded figure fades, and you watch as a sickly, elderly man is sat in the chair, strange half mask on his face, strange mechanical contraptions on his back, as Mortigan is sat there. You don't want to accept the gifts of our emperor, sister?
The gifts of the emperor are one thing, but I personally believe that the gifts of the emperor as interpreted by the rest of you are a completely different thing.
Oh, you've not sensed the darkness coming from our Lord since we had these gifts, then I see. how senile of you.
Again, you're a useless piece of trash, and you're full of power that you're always the most useless one of us anyway.
I'm the most useless one of all of us, yet I had the power to pull you in here. From an old relic that has...
Punch him in the face.
You go to punch him in the face, and you watch as his face just completely caves in, and it's just like a dark hole is there as you pull your fist out. As you pull your fist out, maggots and pus come out with it, and his face begins to re-knit and reform, and the mask just slaps back up. And he's like,
I know you're in a imagination right now, but it made me feel better.
I'm so glad you feel better, but please, sister, there is so much more fun that we can have if you were to rejoin our ranks. I mean, we've got another harbinger that we can promote if we want to, but you're just so much more fun. I can help amplify your abilities. We have this arrangement with someone in your area, and he's giving us access to some research, and this research has amplified my abilities so much more. And you watch as he stands up, the machinery falls off of him, and the mask falls off, and he stands up like 8 feet tall. His hands elongate and stretch out, and you watch as all of these purple veins begin forming up his body. He looks very similar to the Red Shadow that you fought before, with a big toothy grin that stretches from ear to ear. And he's like,
Dwarf, I know everything. Stop trying to go play games with me.
Oh, I like playing games. You can thank your friend Perry for all of the little nuggets that they've given me. Oh, yes. Don't you want to entertain the idea of ultimate power, sister? No? What's happening?
No.
Why? Oh, look, it looks like your friends have found a way to get that out. I will see you next time.
It was never about ultimate power. It was serving our fucking country.
And you are pulled out as the amulet falls into the bag. The bag is shoved away, and your eyes instantly go, ding!
How many people are touching me right now?
Well, Perry is kind of trying to wipe away tears.
Cool, I am out. I am as far back against the wall as I can.
Great, I knew it would pass.
Hey, so I put it in the fridge just to... Oh, you're awake. Excellent.
Don't touch me.
Sure, you're gonna have the adrenaline for a little longer, but just a pre-warning, you're probably gonna feel excruciating pain from your hand in about 5 to 10 seconds.
Ow. As it hits you.
Pop it back in place.
Yep, nice and simple, pop it back in place. You do hear an echo in the back of your head. The offer is always there.
Stop.
happened, Hera? What?
Well, someone's definitely had some sort of run-in with the Tarragon Empire, Imperium, and the person I warned about has apparently been playing with your past inventions, given to him by Kemdak, and now imagine
Wait,
they're
whose past
struggling, but that
inventions?
makes them worse.
Whose past inventions?
Yours,
Mine?
yes.
What did I do?
Some mechanical magic monster. We need to go find your stuff.
Yeah.
Hera, do you mind if I... actually, Lucian, I know you wrapped it up. I don't want to touch it. Could I have a look at the thing that Hera held?
It's wrapped up and put in that box, and look at your own risk.
She will grab, I don't know, another bit of cloth.
Oh,
another
just as
good-
a pre-warning though, I hope you don't mind if I break both your thumbs to get it back off you.
Hopefully it won't come to that. Actually, bit of cloth that she does have handy will kind of look a bit awkward, but then I've already trusted you guys with the bigger secret, so she'll take their headscarf off. And you can see now, before there might have been little glints before, but she's got full on in the brown hair that like tumbles down. She's just full on got some golden streaks. And we'll wrap the headscarf around her hand to carefully open the box and carefully pull back the wrapping that Lucian put on it, just to have a look inside.
You have a little look inside, not touching it at all. What you can see is a small amulet. Looks to be in perfect shape. There seems to be a little purple light in the center of it.
It's not got a 7-pointed star on it, though.
It actually does.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that it has a 7-pointed star on it. It's that it is a 7-pointed star in itself. So it's like a 3D star with glass in between each of the different things, with the purple glow on the inside. For player knowledge, when Hera looked at it, it had a big crack going down the center of it. It now doesn't have that crack.
Oh. Interesting.
Well,
Hey, I've just put something together. Shit.
It's the one from the one shot.
No, but it's the one from something else, which I think may have been my idea a long time ago. Damn it! Josh, stop doing this!
while Elodie's talking to Hera, while Elodie's looking at the item and stuff and inspecting it, Lucian goes, sort of glances over to Perry and go, like nods to come outside the office with him.
Okay, follows.
He shuts the door behind him. The notebooks are clearly important. I know where one of them is.
You know where one of my journals is?
I think so. I wasn't entirely sure, but due to the pressures that have appeared, I was just going to sort of see where it led, find it, and get it back for you. But at this point, I feel like we might have to change tactics, and instead of quietly pilfering it back for you, we just go take it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm really sorry, I cannot remember your name, but yes, we should do that.
The other reason why I brought you out here is as a polite request. one of the things I'm quite good at doing is finding out things I'm not supposed to know. And I don't like explaining how I find out the things I'm not supposed to know. Is that
that's
fair
what I asked.
with you?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't know how I know a lot of things. I've only been alive a month, so everyone has their methods, right?
Sound. So the guy that's got it, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a merchant called. Oh, I've not. I don't think I've written it down.
There wasn't a name for the merchant. You just knew where it was being sold. It was sort of being kept sort of like on the black market.
It's being kept on the black market. Did Cillian say like where that was, or just that it's being kept on the black market? I can't remember off the top of my head because I haven't written it down.
It was a location that she needed to find out, and that was the one of the tasks that you asked her to do when you last spoke to her. So you just need to wait for her to come back to tell you where it is.
Yeah, and the 1,500 gold was to pilfer it.
Was to purchase it before. To purchase it before the Reavers at a higher price than what the Reavers were offering.
Yeah. So the Reavers want that bulk. They offered 1,500 gold. So we could, instead of smashing skulls against walls, just pay out for it.
I mean, do you have that kind of money?
I can get it, but it takes time, that sort of stuff. I'm hoping that my source will let us just pay down payments slowly before they acquire the item. But
I mean, we might not have the time to pay in installments.
well, it's more I find with people like that, if you keep greasing their pockets slowly, they generally don't rush you for the full amount.
But that gives them a lot of time to change their mind.
It does, but believe it or not, there's a level of honesty when it comes to these sort of agreements. With the people I know anyway. I mean, if they get a ridiculous offer, then to be fair, I'd probably tell them to go for it as well myself, because I can't compete with that, and that's fair. Business is business. But in this case, it's not less about the bigger offer, it's more about nicking it off the other person and getting that offer at the end of the day. So it's like a win-win for them.
Right. Well, you sound like you know what you're talking about with this. I don't really do this whole money thing or this transaction business. So
No,
whatever you think. Well,
to be fair, only give me about 50% of the credit. Half of it's just making it up as you go.
Sweet. Cool. Good for you. Good for you, bro. Okay. So how do we get this going? We need to get this done quick. What do I need to do?
It depends. We need the contact to come and give us the location. If they've got the location, then we can just go break the door down.
Okay.
So it'll be a slightly short waiting game until they arrive.
Well, I guess that gives me some time to try and break into the magic fortress that has the first journal, maybe?
And I'll ask them about that as well.
Yeah, see if you know anyone that knows how to Oh, maybe I should try the Aether on it. Maybe that will break through.
Elodie specifically ran away with that. Maybe let's not. If you're gonna do it, just go do it. That's not inside of a building, maybe.
I can do it outside, but it got on my skin and I was fine. It's just a bit of a purple shimmer.
Yeah, but you're not fine. the stuff you do, it's not normal.
It's not?
Not really, no. I'm absolutely shit scared of you because I've never seen anything like that before.
Fair enough.
Just whatever conclusions you make, don't ever try and assume they're normal, because I don't know if that's a level we can sort of. And also, more to the point, I've been here 3 days, and this entire place is fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah, it was empty for weeks on end. Nothing happened, and then suddenly everything just happened at once.
There's 80% of me that's tempted just to jump on the next ship and just call it a day.
Well, please don't do that for my sake, because I really need these journals. I mean, they've got this whole family thing. They've got their own thing, but this is my life. I only have those journals to go off of. I need those.
We'll get the book.
Okay.
I've already
But-
put it in motion. It'd be bad business to back out now.
Good. You're a real one, whoever you are.
Just call me Lucy.
Lucy. Okay, Lucy. I'll try and remember.
Yeah.
I would, while that's going on inside, we'll have obviously seen the medallion and sort of turn to Hera. Is Hera calming at all? Or are you still looking freaked out?
Calm, just apart. No touching, please.
Oh, I wasn't planning to.
That's right.
You know what? It's still quite early in the morning. I don't think Rodney will have got up yet. In fact, he wasn't in the kitchen when I went in just now. Would you like a cup of tea?
I'm just gonna look at Tally and then back. Sure. Prevent me from trying to run away in the middle of the night.
We'll just slowly sort of rewrap the medallion and close the box. Where would you run to?
Not here. But I think they're here anyway, so they know I'm here anyway, so they'll probably find me somewhere else.
Will obviously I appreciate that Perry and Lucian are kind of outside the door. Can we maybe just say, if you want your conversation to be private, you're a bit further away from just outside the door so we can go to the
Or you
kitchen?
open the door and you just hear Lucy like, this place is batshit crazy.
We can go.
We're going to go and get some tea in the kitchen. Care to join?
Oh, I don't think I've ever had tea. Just let me get my box.
Leaving
Stealthy.
The stealthiest.
Okay. LED will sort tea, but and get the blanket that she had in the kitchen, offer it to Hera to wrap around, but would not put it around Hera's shoulders herself.
He takes out his pocket square and hands it to Hera so she can tidy up her eyes.
Yes, Hera, you do still have black tears sort of dried up on your... Actually, no, because Perry was cleaning your face, so no, you don't have that anymore.
Just take the corners a bit, and I'm just gonna wipe them off and just smear them across my face.
Oh, like me. I've got it's all smeared in a dark thing.
Yeah.
Twinsies.
Are you having the tea in the kitchen, or are you having it in the sort of area where you would eat breakfast and stuff, the dining hall? There we go, that's what it's called.
Probably in the kitchen. I'm just like picturing like the tea is literally on. I don't know why I've decided it's like an Arga type stove thing that's in there that's constantly a bit warm.
There's a tiny island in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tiny island can move about, you know. Rodney was moving it about earlier. While you're all in there having tea, you just hear coming from the fridge.
Oh, I really thought the cold would help, would stop it from, would help it calm down. Okay, I will figure that out shortly. But Hera, this medallion, you went to pocket it. No judgment at all, but am I right in thinking you recognized it? Okay. Might I ask the circumstances? If it helps, I have a personal investment in knowing why. She'll remove the glove. Perry has already seen this, but she has a 7-pointed star branded onto the back of her left hand.
Which looks very similar to the amulet that's in the box in the other room and an amulet that you wore previously.
Not exactly the same, but the amulet is It was broken when I saw it. It was a version of one of those given to the Imperium's horsemen.
The horsemen are designed to bring about
essentially control and conquest for the Imperium. The Emperor's elite, chosen. When one goes, it's possible to replace the others. It's very hard. And hard when those are still around. Next, I don't know. They said that there's one left, but at least one of the others is still alive. Two might be, so that's probably why they're panicking and struggling right now. But yeah, the 4 horsemen: war, pestilence, famine, and death.
harbingers of the Empire.
The Imperium.
And what does this symbolize to you? Is it just a status symbol? You have one, therefore you are a horseman, or what?
If the horsemen control the people, control the actions, then the Emperor and the Emperor's voice, the Warbringer, to control the horsemen through these.
So this is a magical symbol of the Emperor to control the Emperor's horsemen.
Status, power, and control.
So it's also Hero would also know that it's a way for the Emperor to grant his a fraction of his immense power to the horsemen through that symbol.
Yeah, Talia knows. Talia's
Talia
right
knows, yeah.
close to chest with just the word power.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. I think Elodie is just trying to tie all these knots together. I'm not entirely sure how all this is joined together, but forgive me, Lucian, I did hear the tail end of your conversation, and you are right that there's a lot going on here. And I'm sorry, Tali, you have been very kind and very hospitable to us, but do you not think it strange that in a very short period of time, we have all been brought together?
I mean, I didn't think about it until obviously tonight that all these strange things have happened with all of you in the space of not even 2 hours, and we've had paintings on walls drawn by Sunny. We've had this revelation we just had now, stuff with Perry. I didn't even clock your name, Perry. I'm sorry.
Wait, have we met the last time?
Yeah. I was only little at the time, but you used to come here. You used to work out of the office out of Merkstead with my father doing research.
Yeah. Do you know how I died?
Yes.
And you're not going to tell me, are you?
I am, but I have to warn you that it's not pleasant. You were, and she grabs some tea. We might want to go sit somewhere a little more comfortable before I tell this. And she walks out into the kitchen.
We're all like that.
Do you want us to come, or do you want privacy?
If you're curious, you're welcome to come along. I don't think I have any secrets.
I think
Maybe.
At this point it might be useful to know as much as we can about everything that's connected with all this.
And Lucy, can you help me carry this box? I don't want it to wake everyone up.
Yeah. Any is there anything else I can put this thing in to make it easy for Perry to like lug around with her?
You would know. Just by lifting it up, if you were to put it in like a wheelbarrow or on a stack barrow or anything like that, it'd probably crush it.
We put a towel under it or something. We can.
Yeah. Well, it might rip it. It's very heavy.
How about I keep an eye on it for you right here?
Gives you a very appraising look.
I don't think you would have got it in the kitchen, to be fair.
Are you sure? I'm very strong.
Well, no, I just mean the size of it and how you would need to get round into the kitchen. I don't think it would fit through the kitchen door.
The kitchen, and Lucian is with the box just outside the kitchen.
Listening on the conversation while stood at the door.
Yeah, he's got like a tiny little cup. of tea.
So many questions I feel like I need to ask right now, but I'm not going to.
That's is Nana's cup of tea.
No.
Again, okay, I'm trusting you with this. I'm trusting you.
Just this is just for like my own safety. I accept no liability, responsibility, or accountability for anything that may or may not happen, but I'll still keep an eye on it and do everything I can to stop anything from happening to this incredibly heavy, indestructible item.
Okay, but if anything does happen, you are 100% to blame. Bye!
You say bye, and you go to where the sort of sofa area is in the dining hall area. Lucian, you're still within earshot to hear everything, and you're still within sight range, so Perry can still keep an eye on the box itself, as it didn't quite fit into the kitchen. So everybody's still part of the conversation as Tally takes a seat. Oh, right. Okay, so where do I start? Right. As you know, or I don't know if you know actually, but yes, I met you 20 years ago. Was a little bit further back than that, to be fair. A lot longer than back than that, actually. I knew you for quite a while. You were around when I was a child. You were a dragonkin at that time. Father explained to me that you have this rare ability to be able to reincarnate into a new body every so often, although you hadn't figured out how often or anything like that, or at least if you had, you hadn't told Father. But you had come to Merkstead looking for some work, and you had worked with Father previously in another life some time ago, some details along that line, and you knew that you could trust him. And you had began doing research together on the applications of drawing the raw magic from things. And over the course of time, you discovered that you could draw raw aether from particularly potent magical sources. Not so much like magic items and where it's been watered down and stuff, but more from pure natural sources and untampered sources. So you were both ecstatic with it, and I just remember there was an incident where you had both gone up to the temple with Kimdak to try an experiment out up there. I'm not too sure on the details of it, but I went up as well. I was just starting out my days as an adventurer, and it was actually my first job to go on. I was just meant to be the backpacker. I wasn't meant to fight or anything like that. I was just to bring all of the goods up for you and Father so that you could perform your experiment with Kindak. And when we got to the very top of the mountain, there is this large temple that sort of sticks out of the top of the mountain, but is also like naturally embedded into it. It's like a combination of nature and mortal craft. But there's this big stone door to the temple, and Father and Kimdak began using this magical aether that you had produced to try and open the door. But there wasn't enough of it. and the door began to glow, and all of a sudden there was this explosion, but it wasn't like an explosion like anything broke. It was more like a magical booming effect, and all of the aether was thrown out and was thrown onto you, and your body absorbed all of it, and you began to morph, and you changed into this really grotesque, large pink and purple aether-fueled dragon that both my father and Kimdak had to put down.
I knew it! I knew he killed me. Sorry, go on.
I take it you have no memory of all of that then, if I just had to tell you.
No, babes, I've got a month's worth of memories. I was hoping that when I get told about it or I read my journals that something would come back. I mean, in my previous lifetime, did I have memories of previous lifetimes?
From what Father has told me, it fluctuates. There are times when you've come back with no memories, and times when you've come back with fractured memories. The time when you came to us before, 20 years ago, you only knew of my father. My father was the only person that you knew, and the only location that you knew was that temple. So you knew how to get to it. So you came to Merkstead and managed to bump into my father at the same time. The thing that I find really odd, and I have to say this now, is my father's not stupid. I completely missed that you were Peripatea, mainly because it was a long time ago. But my father should have told me that it was you. He would know it was you. He wouldn't have accepted you in here. He wouldn't have accepted anybody into the guild without knowing a little bit about them. Elodie being probably a exception with Lilla's approval, basically. So there's a reason why each of you are here, and there's some of you that I don't quite understand why are here, and others that, and looks towards Hera, I fully understand why they're here.
I've heard, though, I'm sorry, Perry, I just wanted to say, the more that I am hearing, though, the less I think that it's a coincidence. I don't think Lilla necessarily knew about me, but I'm concerned that Solomon does, and what that means.
I, for one, find it highly suspicious that in 2 lifetimes now, apparently, or especially in this one, the moment I wake up, Solomon is there. I did remember Solomon. I heard his voice when I was between worlds, but it's incredibly suspicious that he would just so happen to find me on the day that I wake up.
That is strange.
He's on the path of the good, but he has told me what he knows of everybody, why they were brought here, any recommendations or past experiences. And Perry, to be completely honest with you, he said that he didn't know as much of you now as he should, and that I should keep an eye on you.
He said we were friends. I woke up and he set himself up as the only person that I knew in the entire world. And he's been keeping every secret that I need to know to have any sense of identity away from me. He set me up to trust him. He is using me, and I don't know what for, but it's not cool.
Where have you been in the last 20 years?
I don't know. I remember this bridge, and there were spirits underneath it, and there was this gate with a figure with a scythe smiling, and a rock that I think was the Evermaiden. and they wanted me to go through a gate, but I didn't. I don't know where I've been. That's all I've got. This is fucked up.
I agree. Well, if anything, it means that we have even more incentive to get Solomon back, not just for his good, but for ours as well.
On that, I'm going to break the rules. Quite badly, actually. If Kimdak still has plans for that temple, and he requires Father to do it, then I am concerned. So I'm going to put a job on the job board to retrieve my father, which goes against what he has said about going against the Reavers. But I feel it is more important that he is not in their grip anymore.
No, Tali, you're right. Of course, it's the temple at the top of the mountain. Okay, it required a lot of ether, but that's where the Reaver's base is, right? But it's not in the temple; it's near the temple. Is that correct?
I'm not 100% sure. That's where Father sent his scouts to have a look to see what their proximity was, whether they'd made the temple itself the base, or if they'd made the base elsewhere. They should be returning in the next few days.
Okay, and do you know anything about what's in that temple at all? Do you not remember anything at all?
All I know is about what was in the entranceway, which was the large stone door and sort of like the area where the Aether was put into in order to try and open the door. But there was also 2 seats next to it. One of them had, both of them had like strange angelic wings behind them. And there was like loads of filigree and stuff on the walls that I can't quite remember. It was like depicting some sort of a battle or something.
Huh. Okay. I'll add that to my to-do list, looking in the symbology books. Your father's journals. From that time, do you know which ones they are?
But Father's main journal was the one that Lucian pulled out. I don't know how far back that one goes, but any journals that he has, he's had a number of different journals throughout his life, but any that he does have are within the vault downstairs. That I don't have access to those. That's his private collection of records and things, stuff that he doesn't keep available to the public. I know Bram's down there at the minute looking through old mission records and stuff.
Well, if Bram's down there, then how could you not have access?
No, there's a general access area where all of the old records are kept, and then there's a vault there that has all of the records that, like my father's journals and stuff, that he keeps private and nobody else has access to.
Okay. I think we're right to make sure that the Reavers don't get hold of any more ether that they can. If they are trying to open that temple, we don't know what's inside, but maybe if we could find your father's journals from that time, there might be some clue as to what it is inside there. Lucian, as someone who definitely doesn't do crimes,
No crime here.
Any experience in getting into vaults you're not supposed to be in?
No, I know someone that might be able to, but you'll have to pay her very, very well.
Well, they're already trying to save up for everything else, I suppose. Okay. Job on the board. Get Solomon back. But you said that the scouts should be arriving back soon.
They should be back within the next few days, yes. Not tomorrow, but the day after. Because Josh has realised that you still haven't finished the second day yet.
It's been so
It's a real long day.
Yeah.
Had a long rest at least.
So, tomorrow we plan and research and try and hold off any Any Reaver interventions?
Need to go
Yeah.
to those basement vats. I promised them I'd go back for it. It's just
The problem is, I doubt we'd see the Reavers again until whenever. What was the deadline to bring the bears?
Lila didn't give a deadline, and Tally doesn't know either. I will say, and this is a question for Evie, when you were speaking earlier, were you getting angry?
Yes, very much so.
Lucian, you notice that the book inside the box fluctuates and bangs around the container, the angrier that Perry gets. And when Perry calms down, it stops.
Rage
But the-
book.
Rage book, but the box itself doesn't move. It bounces off of whatever magical barrier is inside of it. Doesn't seem to cause any damage to it or anything, but the angrier Perry gets, the more violent it is. And it glows as well. Because I
Colour
thought
does
I'd
it
add
glow?
that in. Sorry?
What colour does it glow?
It is a white and yellow with a black accent.
Not troubling at all.
But yeah, to answer your question, I know someone that will be able to get into it. Well, maybe, but it'll cost you, and not necessarily cost you in gold. It just kind of depends on what she wants.
What did it cost?
Not that. We're professionals. Come on.
I can give her my blood if that's what it needs.
I wouldn't go offering your blood willy-nilly. That's another one, that I think we got a couple of things maybe. Not normal. Don't give out your blood to anybody. There's people that can literally use it to control you.
Oh, I had no idea about that. God, I need to go to a Life 101 class. Oh.
For the podcast listeners, Elodie just tapped the symbol on her wrist. On her hand.
It's at this point, as we begin to close out the session, as you're all sat there drinking tea with Tally. Tally explained the tale of how she met Peripatea when she was a pink-scaled dragonkin, and the experiments that were research that was done, experiments that were happened, and the death that came to Perry at that point. That you hear a loud bang.
Another one?
Another one, but this one is on the door, and it is a repeated thump, 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 and the door opens, and a figure stumbles in and collapses on the floor in blood. The figure is an elven woman with a green cloak.
She got caught.
And that is where we are going to end tonight's session. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for our
oh gosh.
We had
very
4 hours sleep.
yeah
Jesus
For-
fucking Christ.
our RP heavy session. RP lore, story, everything's happened in this session. If you'd liked what you've seen, you can catch us on Mondays and Tuesdays for more TTRPG goodness, or on Fridays for D&D goodness. All of our links for our social medias will be in the description and in the chat right now. If you are watching us on YouTube, could you please do leave us a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm so we know what to make more of. Thank you to our sponsors and supporters, and a massive thank you to the D20 Club. They are fantastic. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. You can join them from as little as 1 of your local currency or 1 goat, which must be sent to Tom, following the links in chat or in the description below. And with that, we will see you next week for more adventures in D&D places. Goodbye!